Hello and welcome, commissioners, staff, petitioners, and citizens, to the January 10th Mishawaka Plan Commission meeting. I'm going to turn the meeting over to our esteemed city planner, Mr. Derek Spear.
Carrie, can you please call roll call?
Chris Jamrose. Here. Murray Wynn.
Here.
Woody Emmons. Sam Cressy.
Here.
Chris Torti.
Here.
Nick Triola.
Here.
Dale Freeman.
Here.
Kathleen White-Gadich.
Here.
Mike Portleys.
Yes, here.
And since this is the first meeting of the year, one of the first items is the election of officers. Do we have any nominations for president?
I move that we nominate Chris Torti as president.
Second.
Any other nominations? You can have a voice roll call, please.
Chris Jamrose.
Yes.
Murray Wynn.
Yes.
Sam Cressy.
Yes.
Nick Triola.
Yes.
Dale Freeman.
Yes.
Kathleen White-Gadich.
Yes.
Mike Portleys.
Yes.
And I'd like to turn the meeting over to Mr. Torrey.
Thank you. And I appreciate being reelected for this. Thank you. It's an honor to serve on this. Next order of business is to elect a vice president of this body. Do I have any nominations for vice president?
I move that we re-elect Dale Freeman as vice president.
I'll second that.
Any other nominations? Hearing none, we have a first and a second. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Chris Jamrose.
Yes.
Murray Wynn.
Yes.
Sam Cressy.
Yes.
Chris Torti.
Yes.
Nick Triola.
Yes.
Kathleen White-Gadich.
Yes.
Michael Portleys.
Yes.
And we have a vice president. Thank you very much for doing that again this year.
Would be an
I
honor.
really appreciate the backup, and you've served this board so well. Thank you. Okay, introduction of staff. To my right, we have Carrie Myers, the administrator. Next to Carrie, we have Krista Hill, senior planner. To my left, we have Ken Prince, our executive director in the front row. Shad Annis is over there. He's our associate planner. Derek Spear, our city planner, next to him. And then in the second row, we have David Bent, our legal counsel. Rules of procedure are up on the board, and I will read those. Whoop.
We need to appoint the staff.
Oh, for BZA?
For another year. Yeah. I think technically the staff gets to be appointed.
Oh,
My apologies, Mr. President. We just need a refresher. Carrie, did we approve the rules, the fees, and everything at the December meeting?
We did.
yes.
Right. At that time, did we appoint staff or did we not appoint staff?
No.
Doesn't seem like we did
Okay.
specifically.
Then that would be appropriate. Thank you, Mr. Wynn.
Thank you. And also, we have one more election to vote who on this body would serve the BZA. Is there a nomination for that?
Don't look at me. You wins, guys.
Yes.
So you don't need to be nominated.
Yeah, I would need to be. Yes, that would be me.
I move that we nominate Mr. Chris Torti for the BZA.
I would second that nomination.
We have a nomination and a second. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Chris Jamrose.
Yes.
Murray Wynn.
Yes.
Sam Cressy.
Yes.
Nick Triola.
Yes.
Dale Freeman.
Yes.
Kathleen White-Gadich.
Yes.
Michael Portleys.
Yes.
And I will be serving another year on the BZA. Thank you very much. Okay, rules of procedure are up on the board. First, we'll hear a presentation by the petitioner.
Staff.
Staff.
Oh,
Staff?
the staff?
We
Oh.
do, I move.
All those, okay, go ahead.
I move that we keep our same staff. They've done a wonderful job, and I suggest that we reelect them, reappoint them.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Phew. Thank God we have the same staff. What would we do without them? So thank you for serving, all of you. It goes well beyond the job you do and the paycheck you get, and we really appreciate it. So before I go on to the rules of procedures, Maria, am I missing anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. First, we'll hear a presentation by the petitioner. Then, for each item, we will ask those participating in the room to speak first, followed by those participating online. And then we'll hear from those who wish to speak in favor of the request. Then we'll have a chance for those who wish to speak against the request. If you're not sure whether you're speaking for or against the request and you have questions, I suggest you come up during the against the request time. Then we'll accumulate all of the questions. We'll have a right of rebuttal by the petitioner, come up, get all of our questions answered. Then we'll close the public hearing. When we do close the public hearing, we'll be discussing things as a commission board. And then we will offer the commission vote and go from there. We do all of our speaking at the podium. It's where the microphone is. When you come up, please leave your name and address. It can be your home address or your business address. But please leave that clearly so Carrie Myers can take that down appropriately. The previous month's minutes were distributed. Are there any corrections or addition to those? Nope. Then all those in favor of approving those minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the previous month's minutes pass. Are there any conflict of interest on any of the agenda items on the agenda today? No, no, no. Hearing none, this brings us to the first item on the agenda. The first item is a petition. Petition 22-22, a petition submitted by MCC Self-Storage LLC and Morris Sales Incorporated, requesting to rezone property at the northeast corner of Merrifield Avenue and 12th Street from C1 General Commercial District to C7 Automobile-Oriented Restaurant Commercial to allow an outlet to be developed. Hi, is there somebody here to present this petition?
Good evening. My name is Austin Blomeke with Jones Petrie Finsky, 325 South Lafayette Boulevard in South Bend. I'm here on behalf of MCC Self-Storage and Morris Sales. They are requesting that a 2.16 acre property, portion of the property at the northeast corner of Merrifield Avenue and 12th Street be rezoned from C1 General Commercial to C7 Auto-Oriented Commercial Development. This goes back to May in 2022. The owner of one of the buildings to the right, the existing buildings, they sought a use variance for the development of an indoor storage unit facility. And as part of that approval process, the planning department had a condition that a portion of this site needed to be developed as an outlet, commercial outlet, with more active use. So in keeping true to holding up to that agreement, the client is seeking a rezone of this property to C7. At this time, no development plans are in the future, or there are no immediate plans for development, I should say. But we did develop a site plan, and any future development will go along with the regulations for the C7 development. So, any further questions?
Thank you. Any questions for the petitioner? None, thank you. Is there anybody else in attendance or online wishing to speak in favor of petition 22-22? Oh, come on up. Name and address.
Hi, my name's Rudy Vague. I'm the owner of Ozarks Pawn Shop. I'm the small portion of that building, so right there, yes. I've been there for 9.5 years now. Our parking lot needs is roughly 12 parking lot spaces, 3 for employees and 6 for customers that come and go all day long. We never have a spot of the day where we have more than 12 cars parked there ever. So this new project wouldn't wouldn't hurt our business whatsoever. So I'm definitely in favor of it, especially if we can develop that into, hopefully some food establishments, maybe a Big Z Coffee or something that we definitely need on that side of the town. It's lacking food. So let's go for this. Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming in and voicing your support. Is there anybody else in attendance or online wishing to speak in favor of petition 22-22? Hearing none, is there anybody in attendance or online wishing to speak in opposition to petition 22-22? Nope. Hearing none, is there any additional information, Mr. Spear?
There's no additional comment.
Okay, I will close the public hearing, and I will open it up to the commissioners for any floor discussion. And if there's none, oh, yep.
Could you clarify what C7 would allow?
Currently, the property is owned C1, so that allows a myriad of commercial retail establishment. It would also allow a dine-in restaurant. What it does not permit is a restaurant with a drive-through. So the C7 opens it up to the restaurant with drive-through. So like I said, we felt that would be a proper zoning for this corner. It would bring more activity to a commercial building that doesn't see a lot of foot traffic in and out of it. So that was the purpose of going to the C7,
Would that approve or allow a gas station or something like that?
not a gas station.
Okay, thank you.
No car lots. Correct, yeah.
Sounds good.
Great,
Hey,
thank
thank you for the question, Mr. Portalese, and thank you for the answer on that. It was very helpful. If there's no other discussion on that, I will take a motion on petition 22-22.
Make a motion, we approve 22-22?
Second.
Whoop, I have a motion and a second. Who won that second?
We tied.
Kathy won.
Kathy. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Chris Jamrose.
Yes.
Murray Wynn.
Yes.
Sam Cressy.
Yes.
Chris Torty.
Yes.
Nick Triola.
Yes.
Dale Freeman.
Yes.
Kathleen White-Gadich.
Yes.
Michael Portlese.
Yes.
And that petition will pass to the council with a favorable rating. That brings us to the next item on the agenda, plat number 22-12, a request submitted by MCC Self-Storage LLC and Morris Sales, Inc., requesting the approval of the two-lot MCC Self-Storage minor subdivision. Is there somebody online or in the room to present this?
Again, name is Austin Blomeke, Jones, Peter Rafinski, 325 South Lafayette Boulevard, South Bend. Again, this is really a follow-up to the meeting from last May, and then the rezone that we just discussed. This total parent property contains about 4.75 acres. We're looking to establish two lots, so subdivide it into Lot 1, which would be the rezoned portion that we just discussed, and then Lot 2 is the remaining parking area around the existing buildings. Existing buildings remain as they are. In establishing the two new lots, the plat would also dedicate 40 feet of the half of the right-of-way for South Merrifield Avenue and 50 feet for the right-of-way for the 12th Street. All required access, drainage, and utility and non-access easements would be shown on this plat. In addition to this, any development that occurs on Lot 1, the rezoned parcel, no new curb cuts would be allowed, and the client is aware of that, and they agreed to that. So the existing drive entrances would be utilized to gain access into that lot.
Thank you. Any questions for the petitioner?
My only comment would be, and it doesn't show on this one, you show the retention pond On the north end of Lot 1, which is adjacent to the entrance off of Merrifield, my only concern is that in the final site plans of however this develops, that area is protected so that someone doesn't make a turn in and make a turn into the pond.
Yep, that's a valid concern, and as we would go through, the selection of a final development, we would go through the design and revise it to make sure all safety requirements are met.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question. Is there any other questions? No? Then is there anybody else in attendance or online wishing to speak in favor of Plat 22-12? In favor? Hearing none, is there anybody in attendance or online wishing to speak in opposition to Plat 22-12? Any additional information?
No additional comment.
Okay, we'll close the public hearing, and then we'll open the floor for discussion, and if there's no discussion, I will take a motion.
I move that we approve Plat 22-12.
Second.
We have a motion for approval and a second. Was it Nick? Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Chris Jamros?
Yes.
Murray Wynn?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Chris Torty?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes.
Kathleen White-Gadich?
Yes.
Michael Portlees?
Yes.
And Plat 22-12 passes. Okay. Moving right along, that brings us to the next item on the agenda, replat 22-04, a request submitted by School City of Mishawaka requesting approval of a two-lot replat of Liberty Elementary School minor subdivision. First replat to change alignment and ingress, egress, and utility easements in the southeast corner of the parcel. Hi.
Hi. Mr. President, members of the commission, Ken Prince, Director of Planning and Community Development for the City of Mishawaka. We were essentially a little premature previously with the plat. The plat has changed very slightly from what was previously recorded. The area of the property of the lot got increased by a couple hundredths of an acre. Just to refresh everyone's memory, the Liberty School, this property is owned by School City. We have a signed purchase agreement with School City, selling the property to the city for $1. The lot adjacent to McKinley is going to become the replacement for Fire Station Number 2, which is currently under design. We have bid part of the exchange of property. School City requested that the access drive off McKinley be connected to Liberty School. So right now, all the traffic for Liberty School has to go down Pragle Drive and then connect back out to McKinley at the traffic light. This will provide an ulterior or an alternate entrance into the school, which we think will reduce traffic on Pragle Drive and make things safer overall, particularly for the drop-off at the school. Having said that, the replat that's before you this evening, again, has just been modified very slightly to reflect the correct area of the property and the correct area for the access and drainage and utility easements for the property. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Ken,
Yes.
do you see any conflict between the access road to the school and as opposed to the one with the fire department? Will there be two separate roads? I think I'm a little bit confused.
So the exit for the fire department will be directly to McKinley and will not use that access. The
Okay.
other thing the fire department requested is there's another access point. So there's actually 3 curb cuts that will be created. One for this access drive that also serves both the fire station and the school, but there'll be another curb cut that's located to the west of where the building is located that will serve as the entry and exit into the fire department itself. And then obviously the exit from the station itself onto McKinley
Right,
is
okay.
unhindered and is direct. So
Gotcha.
so yes, we've reviewed it, we've studied it, and kind of when we're working with the city engineer, this is the kind of solution that's been identified to serve all parties
Good.
involved.
Very good, thank you.
You may end up having to have a stoplight. I've seen the lineup of traffic off of Pragle, and with them coming from 2 different directions, It may
So,
cause-
so School City, I know, has a plan to address it, and part of the reason when you look at that curve and that entry into that, it's, we used to take the kids to Twin Branch School, and that similar drop-off and pickup, that first day of school is a nightmare in terms of figuring it out, but once you get it figured out, I think it'll be okay.
Okay.
This will replace Fire Station Number 2. Will Fire Station Number 2 be demolished, or what are the plans for the current location?
So we currently don't have any plans. Right now, we purchased the lot immediately to the north of Fire Station Number 2, and the thought, at one point when that became available, that we may be able to expand and keep Fire Station Number 2 in that location. That did not work out. So the ultimate plan is to have a public hearing on a comprehensive plan for Normain Park. And as part of that, we'll consider proposals for the former, I know we've had the union reach out to us regarding that would be a good location for their public meeting. We've also had Boys and Girls Club as a teen kind of hangout in conjunction with the park, be located there and provide social services. We have made no decisions, and until we really get further down the line on the replacement, we probably won't be considering any offers. But those are some of the discussions we've had internally.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for our executive director? Nope, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in attendance or online wishing to speak in favor of replat 22-04? Hearing none, is there anybody wishing to speak in opposition, either online or in attendance, to replat 22-04? Hearing none, is there any additional information, city planner?
No additional information.
Okay, I will close the public hearing. Any comments or questions? No? Then I will take a motion.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to approve plat number 2204 as presented by the petitioner, sir.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Chris Jamrose?
Yes.
Murray Wynn?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Chris Torty?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes.
Kathleen White-Gadich?
Yes.
Michael Portleys?
Yes.
And replat 22-04 passes. That brings us to the last item on the agenda, and it is a design review. DR 22-11, a request submitted by Schreiber Morowski Realty LLC requesting a waiver from the Mishawaka Design Review Ordinance, Section 105-76, architectural materials for a shed at 114 West First Street, Mishawaka, Indiana. Is there somebody here to present this petition? Hi.
Hi, my name is Phil Schreiber, 114 West First Street, which is the Chicory Cafe. Schreiber Morowski is my partner and I who own the building, and we run the restaurant. The shed that we'd like to build in the back part is basically to accommodate some room for some more equipment and et cetera, that storage units, things like that, that we need for our expanding business. We're doing quite a bit of business inside of the restaurant, but we've also picked up now the Ironworks of Mishawaka doing their event center. We've already done 2 events there. We find ourselves with more needs for warming cabinets, plates, silverware, just more things to do. We're also having an event coming up in the Rose Ballroom recently. Since we've been at the Chicory for 2.5 years now, we went from, a few events here and there to sometimes 10 or even 12 events in a particular week, which means we needed more food storage, we needed more equipment storage. We're running out of room, and this is our way to try to get us where we need to go.
Thank you. I see you worked with the planning staff on this, and they have a recommendation there that it should be painted to match the building.
That's exactly
So
correct.
beige and black, do you agree to
We're
do
going to
that?
get it as close as we can to the building, correct.
Great, great. Is there any additional questions for Mr. Schreiber? None, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody in attendance or online wishing to speak in favor of Design Review 22-11? Hearing none, is there anybody in attendance or online wishing to speak in opposition to Design Review 22-11? Hearing none, is there additional information?
No additional comment.
Okay, then I will close the public hearing. Any comments or questions? And if not, I will take a motion.
Make a motion for approval of 22-11.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Carrie, would you please call for the vote?
Chris Chamorros?
Yes.
Murray Wynn?
Yes.
Sam Cressy?
Yes.
Chris Torti?
Yes.
Nick Triola?
Yes.
Dale Freeman?
Yes.
Kathleen White-Gadich?
Yes.
Michael Portlace?
Yes.
And design review 22-11 passes. Is there any old business, Mr. Spear?
None?
Any new business?
None.
Privilege of the floor. Would anybody like to comment on anything that is not on the agenda tonight? None? Then we are adjourned, and Happy New Year to everybody. Hope